Good evening, everybody, and welcome into Brent Brown Ballpark for the 2014 Class 3A State Utah. The Utah State Baseball Championships coming to you from Brent Brown Ballpark. An elimination game tonight between Cedar and Park City. One of these two teams will have their season end tonight, and one will move on to play another day. And we'll be able to find out tonight which one will have their season continue. Park City will be the visiting team. They'll be up first right now as getting ready to begin this one. Let's give you the Park City batting lineup for this one. Leading off will be the catcher number 8, Chandler Barkdale. Griffin Churich, the left fielder, will hit second. Chandler Anderson will hit third and center field. Blake Moore, the shortstop, will hit fourth. Scott Stoke, the first baseman, hits fifth. Jackson Hermanson will get the start on the mound, and he hits sixth. Jack Lecker, the second baseman, hits seventh. Designated hitter Jeff Pfeiffer will hit eighth. And Ian Moritz, the third baseman, will hit ninth. Defensively tonight for Cedar. First off, on the mound, it's going to be number 19, Brecken Lewis. In the outfield, it's going defensively in left. Morgan Garrett will get the start in left. In center, it's Weston Bettridge. In right, Josh Boyer. On the infield from third to first, it's going to be Trayson Esplin at third, Riker Tom at short, Caden Lunt at second. Over at first will be Brock Esplin. Dallas Jolly will be behind the plate, and of course Jackson Hermanson on the mound for this one at Park City. And we are just about ready for baseball here from Orem. Park City steps into the batter's box with Chandler Barkdale, and we are just about set just after 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time here in Orem, Utah. As Barkdale is in the box, Hermanson set, and he winds and delivers home. The first pitch is a called strike, and we are underway here at the state tournament, here at this elimination game, number 28 of the state tournament in the elimination game. No balls and one strike to catcher Chandler Barkdale. Hermanson set on the mound and comes set with the 0-1 delivery. And that one's just off the plate for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Park City last night staving off elimination with a win, a dramatic win over Canyon View. And the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. Earlier today, Park City was able to defeat Juan Diego to advance into this game. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter Chandler Barkdale. And Hermanson delivers, and that one swung on line to right field. It's going to fall for a leadoff single. So Chandler Barkdale finds his way on, and Griffin Churich will come to the plate. Cedar, on the other hand, beat Uinta yesterday, came back today to beat Pineview, and now we'll get Park City tonight. So Churich coming to the plate. He'll be in left field tonight for Park City, as the Park City Miners wearing their black tops with white pants and black socks. Hermanson working from the stretch delivers, and he takes a called strike, and it's no balls and a strike to Churich. Cedar in the red tops with white pants. And we are ready for a great night of baseball here. Hermanson will work from the stretch. Barkdale gets his lead over at first. Trayson Esplin coming in very close on third, as the bunt was shown by Church. Time called. He'll step out of the batter's box. No balls and a strike. Hermanson set. The pickoff move, diving back to the bag, is Barkdale. Park City coming out of Region 10 went 7-5 in Region, 21-8 overall. No balls and a strike. Bunt showed again. Church pulls it back and takes high for a ball, and evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cedar came out of Region 9 at 8-4 with a 21-6 overall record. And a 1-1 count here as Hermanson sets and delivers home. Bunt shoves back, pulls it back, and the ball goes to the backstop. And heading down to second base will be Chandler Barkdale. So Barkdale gets down to second, so already Park City with a runner in scoring position here in the first. And time called is Dallas Jolly will go out and make sure that Brecken Lewis is set and ready to go. So I guess I've been saying Hermanson's on the mound. That would be quite interesting since Jackson Hermanson is the starting pitcher for Park City, and Park City is batting right now. So it's Brecken Lewis on the mound for Cedar right now, and the 2-1 pitch. And Lewis will turn and step off the mound and get Barkdale back to second base. Dallas Jolly out in front of home plate, getting the defensive alignment for the Cedar Redmen. 2 balls and a strike, working from the stretch is Hermanson. Wheel play on, bunt laid down to third. Trayson Esplin fields it, checks the runner back, throws to first, back across to third, and they're not going to get him. A bang play at third, and just getting under the tag was Chandler Barkdale. And so Park City puts the runner on at third, and we're going to have a visit here from the coach for Cedar City. He's going to get an explanation. So Church retired on the sacrifice bunt. So Barkdale moves to third, and Chandler Anderson, the center fielder, comes to the plate. Anderson, a 6'1" junior, will hit from the right side, looking to give an early lead for Park City. And the pitch is in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike to Chandler Anderson. Blake Morin waits on deck for Park City. The 0-1 pitch from Lewis, that one's blocked in the dirt by Jolly, and it evens the count at 1-1. The winner of this one plays at 9 a.m. tomorrow against Desert Hills. And the 0-1 pitch is swung on by Anderson, hit to right. It's going to send Boyer back. He is not going to get there. It's off his glove. Going into second is Anderson with an RBI double, and Park City has a 1-0 lead. So an RBI double for Chandler Anderson puts the Miners up 1-0. And in fact, they're not going to give him an RBI. They're going to say an E9 against Boyer out and right. And so Blake Morin will come to the plate here. As once again we have defensive alignments being given out by catcher and Dallas Jolly for Cedar City. Working from the stretch is Brecken Lewis. Time called by Morin, as it looks like Lewis was taking just a tad too long. Morin hitting from the left side of the plate. And Lewis set from the stretch, checks the runner, delivers home, and that one's in the dirt for a ball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Blake Morin. Scott Stoke on deck for the Miners. Thank you for tuning in tonight on this Friday night on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. The 1-0 pitch on its way, and that's going to be catch to the outside corner for a called strike, and it evens the count at 1-1. An overcast night for baseball. Warm night, though. Warm and overcast. The 1-1 pitch as Lewis delivers home. That one swung on, grounded over to first. It's fielded by Esplin, who will take it to the bag himself, and there's 2 away. So 2 outs, and Anderson moves down to third, and Scott Stoke will come to the plate looking to have a 2-out RBI to give the Miners an early 2-0 lead. They've already scored 1 here in the inning. And the first pitch to Scott Stokes is a breaking ball. It's in there at the knees. It's 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Scott Stokes, who started on the mound last night for the Miners. And there he takes a called strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2. The pitcher, Jackson Hermanson waits on deck for Park City. No balls and 2 strikes, and the delivery from Lewis home. Swung on, grounded right back to Lewis, who nabs it out of the air and throws over to first in time. And the top of the first comes to an end, but not before the first run of the game is scored by Park City. And at the end of the top of the first inning, it's Park City 1 and Cedar coming to bat. You're listening to the 2014 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the first here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Cedar Redmond coming up to bat. And this is their lineup they'll hit tonight. Leading off will be right fielder Josh Boyer. Trayson Esplin, the third baseman, bats in the 2 spot. Riker Tom, the shortstop, hits third. Brock Esplin over at first base will hit in the 4th spot. Brecken Lewis, the pitcher, hits 5th. Dallas Jolly, hitting 6th, will be behind the plate. Caden Lunt will hit 7th. And Morgan Garrett will hit 8th, and Weston Betteridge will round out the order and bat 9th. Tonight they'll be going up against the left-hander Jackson Hermanson, who's just completed his warm-up tosses. The defense for Park City, Griffin Church in left, Chandler Anderson in center. In right field will be Sam Starlev. On the infield at third, Ian Moritz. At short, Blake Morin. At second will be Jack Lecker. At first, it's going to be Scott Stokes. Behind the plate tonight is Chandler Barkdale, as Boyer has stepped into the box for Cedar. And we are just about set to go. Hermanson kicks and delivers home. And this one is low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to Josh Boyer. So Boyer, Trayson Esplin, Tom, Brock Esplin, Lewis, Jolly, Lunt, Garrett, and Betteridge, as Boyer swings and fouls the 1-0 pitch back to the screen, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball and 1 strike as the kick and the delivery home from Hermanson. That one bounces in the dirt to the backstop. It's 2 balls and a strike. Two balls and a strike, and the kick and the delivery home from Hermanson. That one's going to be left up in the air, and Boyer hits it deep. In fact, chasing it will be Anderson all the way to the warning track. Taking the turnaround second, Boyer will hold as he comes into second with a leadoff double. So Hermanson left that one up, and Boyer went high and out of the strike zone to get it, but when he did, he put it deep into left center field. And Trayson Esplin will come to the plate, the third baseman here, with nobody out in the bottom half of the first. So we'll see here exactly what Josh Boyer, the tying run, sitting on at second base. We'll see here what Cedar decides to do. And the first pitch to Esplin, that one's in the dirt for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. A good stop by Chandler Barkdale to keep that one from getting to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes as Hermanson working from the left side of the rubber on the mound. working from the stretch. And checks the runner at second. Hermanson delivers home, and that one swung out and missed by Esplin, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cedar has gotten this far in the tournament, playing pretty well. They've won 3 or 4 games. And the 1-1 pitch. Hermanson kicks and delivers home. That one stays on the outside. Throw down to second is going to go into center field. Immediately turning and going down to third will be Boyer, as Barkdahl came up throwing and just overthrew his shortstop Blake Morin there. And so now the tying run 90 feet away for Cedar here in the first. Cedar with wins over Juab, Juan Diego. Or no, they lost to Juan Diego last Saturday, May 10th. And they beat Juab. And the pitch comes in for a called strike to Trayson Esplin. Cedar then beat Richfield, went on to beat Uinta last night, and then Pineview earlier this morning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The delivery comes home high and tight to Trayson Esplin, and evens the count at 2-2. And the delivery home is swung on, hit right back to the pitcher. They'll check and hold the runner, and Hermanson's throw in time, and there's 1 away. So 1 out, and Riker Tom, number 9, will come to the plate, the shortstop for Cedar. Trying to tie this one up, as the Park City infield, the second baseman Lecker and Morin, the shortstop, playing back, so they'll concede the run up the middle here. And the pitch home to Tom, swung out and missed. A great breaking ball from Hermanson, as he just had Tom out in front. So no balls and 1 strike. Working from the stretch, Hermanson delivers home. Another breaking ball swung on, grounded to third. Moritz with it. His throw across in time. There's 2 outs. And once again, holding Josh Boyer at third base. And so with 2 outs now, Brock Esplin will come to the plate, needing to come through with a base hit in order to tie this ball game up early in the first. Esplin, wearing number 17, pitched a couple of innings in yesterday's win for Park City over Uinta. As Hermanson, working from the stretch, comes set again and delivers home, and that was going to get away from Barkdahl to home plate. Boyer coming in, he will score. We're tied at 1. So Boyer will come in to score, and we're locked at 1s here, as that one just got behind. I don't know if I think it got through Barkdahl's legs there. He just didn't quite get in front of it, and we're locked at 1s here in the bottom of the first, and a 1-0 count coming to Brock Esplin. Esplin, wearing number 17, stands in with a open stance, and the 1-0 pitch swung on, pulled over to third. Moritz fields it cleanly and throws across in time, and that will end the top of the first. But able to manufacture 1 is Cedar at the end of 1 inning from Brent Brown Ballpark. We're tied at 1, Park City and Cedar. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the second at Brent Brown Ballpark. Park City coming up. It will be the pitcher, Jackson Hermanson, to lead it off for the Miners. As Hermanson will stand in the box, ready to get the Brecken Lewis pitch. Lewis working from the windup and delivers the first pitch high and inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Hermanson, Lecker, and Pfeiffer due up here in the second. Park City defeated Bear River before losing to Desert Hills. The 1-0 pitch is high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Park City played at the Desert Hills Regional, beating Park City, losing to Desert Hills. They came back to beat Juab, Canyon View, and Juan Diego. And that one's on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike, the count to the pitcher, Jackson Hermanson. And the delivery comes, a breaking ball that gets in there at the knees, and it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch on its way. That one bounces in for ball 3, and the count now runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Trey Esplin at third, playing in about a step off the grass as the 3-2 pitch comes in. Down low, ball 4, and Hermanson draws himself a walk. We'll see here if he stays in to run. Since he is the pitcher, they can use a courtesy runner. And it looks like right now he's going to stay in. So Jack Letcher will come up here for Park City, wearing number 1. He played defensively in last night's game, but did not get up to have a plate appearance. Hermanson, the runner, bunt showed. It's laid down. It's going to be fielded by Brecken Lewis' throw over to first in time. So a sacrifice bunt is recorded 1-3 in the scorebook at home. And there's 1 out for Jeff Pfeiffer, the DH. So Park City's been very happy with being able to play what would be called small ball and just move runners from base to base this year. And it seems like it's worked out pretty well for the Miners, winning 21 games, as Pfeiffer will stand in from the right side of the plate. And turning around Brecken Lewis and looking him back to the bag, and getting back was Jackson Hermanson, the pitcher. Working from the stretch is Brecken Lewis. And the delivery coming home, and it's away for a ball, 1-0. Hermanson broke off the base like he was going to try to steal third, but then just kind of took a very hard secondary lead and then held. 1 ball and no strikes the count. And the delivery home is swung on, hit right back up the middle for a base hit. Coming around third, they're going to wave the pitcher, Hermanson. Betteridge's throw is going to be cut off, and scoring on the play is Jackson Hermanson. And Park City has come back to take a 2-1 lead on an RBI single by Jeff Pfeiffer. And Pfeiffer was all on that one, just hit it right back up through the middle. And we're going to have an early visit to the mound here by a coach for Cedar City. As everybody will congregate here on the mound, a very short and quick visit. And we're going to have a courtesy runner over at first base.
Running for Park City at first base.
It's going to be number 10. Elliot Walton will run here for Jeff Pfeiffer.
The batter playing third base, number 4, Ian Moritz.
Ian Moritz coming to the plate, hitting from the right side. So Walton now, with good speed, comes in the game to run. And we'll see here what Ian Moritz can do. And it looks like they're going to call a balk here against Brecken Lewis. So going down to second will be Elliot Walton. So Walton now in scoring position on the balk by Lewis. And so Park City with their second runner in scoring position of the inning. And Lewis delivers that one low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. These are the final 4 teams in the Class 3A remaining alive. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed by Moritz. The final 4 teams remaining alive for a state championship in the state of Utah: Grantsville, Desert Hills, Cedar, and Park City. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch, Lewis checks the runner, delivers home, swung on, and Moritz will pop that up and it'll hit off the roof behind us. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here with 1 out in the top of the 2nd inning. As Brecken Lewis is set on the mound, working from the stretch, delivers the 1-2 pitch. Moritz pops that one up. Right side, Boyer coming in. He will make the catch, act like he's going to tag, and a good throw cut off by Riker Tom. And there's 2 outs here in the 2nd. So 2 outs, and we go back to the top of the lineup in Chandler Barkdahl. Barkdahl on the night, 1 for 1. Barkdahl had a single and came around to score back in the 1st. He scored the first Park City run. And the first pitch is going to be low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Lewis working from the stretch, again takes a look at second, delivers home, and that's a high fastball, and it's 2-0. Two balls and no strikes as Lewis set, checks the runner, gets the sign, delivers home, and that pitch just off the plate and maybe a little low. And the count goes 3-0 to Chandler Barkdahl. Griffin Church on deck for Park City. Lewis set again with the sign, the 3-0 pitch, low for ball 4, and Chandler Barkdahl's on for the 2nd time tonight. And Griffin Church will come to the plate.
Left fielder, number 2, Griffin Church.
Church, in his first at bat in the 1st, had a sacrifice bunt to move Barkdahl into scoring position. And now he comes up here with a couple of minors on the base paths. Time called as Church will step out of the box, and now he comes back in ready to go. Lewis getting the sign here from Jolly. Time called again by Griffin Church. We've seen most pitchers that we've seen here in this tournament have been fairly quick workers, have been fairly quick at getting the sign and throwing the pitch. Lewis may be a little more deliberate, and that one's going to be high and away for a ball, and it's 1-0. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you have to keep your concentration if you're the hitter at the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Lewis set and delivers the 1-0 pitch. That one inside for a ball, and it's 2-0. On deck for Park City, Chandler Anderson. And a 2-0 count here coming to Griffin Church. Outfield playing pretty straight away, and the 2-0 pitch swung on. That was going to be lined towards the gap. It's going to fall right in front of Boyer. Coming around third and going to score is Elliott Walton, and it's a 3-1 Park City lead. Barkdahl moves to third. Griffin Church, credit him with an RBI single, as that one just fell in front of Boyer. And Park City, 3 runs on 3 hits here so far, through an inning and 2/3 off of Brecken Lewis. And Chandler Anderson comes to the plate. Anderson hit a ball out to Boyer in right, and that went off Boyer's glove and was ruled an E9. So time called here, as it looks like we're going to get defensive positioning here with the men on first and third. Typically, Jolly's probably telling the infield how to play in case a double steal is on. With 2 outs here in the top of the second. Church gets his lead at first, and Lewis delivers a breaking ball that sits in on the corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Blake Moore in the shortstop to follow. No balls and 1 strike. And the pickoff move, diving back, ball's gonna skip away from Esplin. Coming in to score is Chandler Barkdahl, and it's a 4-1 Park City lead. And that's gonna be, I would imagine, ruled an E3. Churich did not move up, so Churich is still on at first. No balls and a strike. Lewis sets and delivers home. Anderson swings and fouls that one down the line, and it's 0-2 to Chandler Anderson. So the perfect start that Park City wanted here. Get some early runs to give some run support to their starting pitcher and build some confidence. Not exactly the start you wanted if you're Cedar. No balls and 2 strikes. The delivery comes. Anderson swings, grounds it up the middle, past the diving second baseman Caden Lunt. Taking the turn and going down to third, and gonna make it there safely was Griffin Churich. So now Park City puts runners on the corners with 2 away. On the base hit, the throw came in as Anderson took a long turn at first, was halfway to second because the first baseman was not there, so he could get that kind of a lead. And now Blake Moore, the shortstop, will come up. So it's a 4-1 lead for Park City, and Blake Moore at the plate. And the delivery home. Runner goes. Throw comes down. They cut it off, and taking the base will be Chandler Anderson. Cutting it off was Caden Lunt, just in case Griffin Churich broke for home. And it's an 0-1 count to Blake Moore. Brecken Lewis set, working from the stretch. And he delivers home, and that one's right on the corner for a called strike, and he's got Morin down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. No balls and 2 strikes. The delivery home from Lewis. That one in the dirt. A good block by Dallas Jolly behind home plate to keep that one from getting to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the top of the second inning. And the 1-2 pitch. That one in the dirt. A good block again by Jolly. And it's 2-2. And Brecken Lewis having to labor deep here into the second inning as 8 guys have come to the plate. Scott Stokes on deck would be hitter number 9. That's high for ball 3, and the count is full. The count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Lewis working from the stretch, sets, gets the sign, delivers home, and that one's in the dirt, ball 4. And so Blake Morin is on, and the 9th man of the inning to come up for Park City is Scott Stokes, the pitcher. Or Scott Stokes, the first baseman. He pitched last night. We're going to have a visit here from the Cedar head coach, and we're going to have a pitching change here. Already here with 2 outs to play in the top of the second inning. It's Park City 4, Cedar 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. The new pitcher back coming onto the mound for Cedar will be Brock Esplin, number 17. Some defensive changes. Most of the infield just kind of shifted over, except for Riker Tom, the shortstop. Brecken Lewis will move from the pitcher spot to third. Tristan Esplin will move from third to second, and Caden Lunt will move from second over to first. And Brock Esplin will go to work here against Scott Stokes. Stokes, the first baseman, hitting with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the top of the second. The first pitch home, he swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Griffin Church running to third base. Chandler Anderson at second, and over at first base is Blake Morin. The 0-1 pitch comes, check swing, and looks like he's going to hold up for a ball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. They're going to appeal, and he did not go. As they appeal to the base umpire, who right now, since there's runners on, is positioned behind the pitcher out towards second base. The 1-1 pitch on its way. Swung on right back to the pitcher. Esplin will field it. He'll go over to first, and the inning comes to an end. So Park City leaves 3 on, but not before they score 3. We head to the bottom of the second at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Park City 4, Cedar 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. We move to the bottom of the second here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Park City and Cedar playing in this one. We'll close the book tonight pitching-wise for Brecken Lewis as he goes an inning and 2/3, gives up 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. As now we'll see what Cedar can do offensively, and it's Brecken Lewis to stand in and lead this one off. And the first pitch to Lewis is in there for a called strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Jackson Hermanson, the left-hander, working here with an 0-1 count and delivers this one inside, and it's going to go off the shoe of Brecken Lewis. And so a leadoff base runner here for Cedar in the bottom of the second inning, and Dallas Jolly, the catcher, will come to the plate. So Jolly, the catcher, has done a good job defensively tonight, keeping a couple of pitches in front of him here. We'll see here what he can do here as he stands in, swings first pitch, pops it high up on the infield. Over to make a look at it is Scott Stokes, and he makes the catch. There's one away. So 1 out here in the second, and that's going to bring up Caden Lunt. Lunt started the game at second. He's now playing first base. So he makes some changes here. On the scorecard as the throw over to first and back to the bag safely is Brecken Lewis. Caden Lunt, the first baseman, hitting from the right side, wearing number 10. And Hermanson sets, delivers the first pitch home, and that's in there at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. Lunt is one of 3 seniors on this Cedar team. Him, Weston Bettridge, and Dallas Jolly, and the pitch is away for a ball. And I think they're going to actually roll a balk, as going down to second base is Brecken Lewis. So on the balk, Brecken Lewis goes down to second base, and Hermanson checks the runner, and the pitch home to Lunt is fouled away. So a good sign if you're Cedar, a young team with getting lots of experience this year to make future runs at region championships and also state championships. No balls and 2 strikes. And the delivery home from Hermanson, a breaking ball. It stays high. Barkdahl acts like he's going to throw down to second, but he does not, as getting back to the bag pretty quickly was Brecken Lewis. Hermanson working from the third base side of the pitcher's mound, and the 1-2 pitch. That one's in the dirt for a ball, and evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Morgan Garrett for Cedar. Two balls and 2 strikes. Hermanson sets and delivers home the 2-2 pitch. That one bounces in the dirt for a ball, and the count goes full. So a 3-ball, 2-strike count here to Caden Lunt. And the 3-2 pitch as Hermanson checks the runner, delivers home. Lunt swings, hits that one out towards left. Coming over is Anderson to make the catch. And the throw will come in quick enough to hold Lewis at second base. And so there's 2 outs. And Morgan Garrett, the left fielder, coming to the plate. Garrett wearing number 6. Another one of the seniors for Cedar.
Playing the field, number 6, Morgan Garrett.
So one of the 3 seniors on the Cedar team will come to bat here. Set is Hermanson on the mound, delivers home. That one's low for a ball, 1-0. Hermanson got the start last night for Park City out in the outfield, playing right field. Moves in to pitch here tonight. 1 ball and no strikes. Hermanson set on the mound. Takes a look at second, delivers the 1-0 pitch. And it's a fastball that hits the outside corner, and it evens the count at 1s. 1 ball and 1 strike here. Morgan Garrett, a squared away stance in the batter's box. And the 1-1 pitch comes home, a changeup that stays off the plate. It's 2-1. Outfield playing pretty straight away. Anderson in center shading a little more towards left field. Infield playing back at typical normal infield depth. 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1 pitch home is swung on and fouled straight back. It evens the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, and as Weston Bettridge waits on deck for Cedar. Hermanson takes a look into Barkdahl to get the sign here for the 2-2 pitch. And the delivery home is going to get past Barkdahl. Going down to third is going to be Brecken Lewis. And so Cedar with a runner on third and a full count to Morgan Garrett. So 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. And it looks like we're waiting to get some more baseballs here. And now we have some more baseballs. We're ready to go. The count goes full here to Morgan Garrett in this elimination game at this 3A state tournament at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. The 3-2 pitch, and that one's in the dirt, ball 4. And so a walk here will put Morgan Garrett on the base path. So 2 men on for Cedar, and Weston Betteridge coming to the plate. And we're going to get a visit here from the Cedar head coach. I'm sorry, that would be the Park City head coach coming out of the dugout here for a quick conference. Let's just kind of run through the schedule for tomorrow, as we will start bright and early tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Desert Hills, who lost earlier to Grantsville, will meet the winner of this one in an elimination game. The winner of the Desert Hills game against Cedar or Park City, whoever wins this one, the winner of that game will meet Grantsville at 11 a.m. for the state championship. If the team from the bottom part of the bracket wins that one against Grantsville, there will be an if necessary game 3 that will be played 20 minutes after that 11 a.m. state championship game. So whoever wins this one and whoever wins that 9 a.m. game tomorrow morning is going to have to beat Grantsville twice if they want to win the state championship. And the first pitch coming here to Weston Betteridge is taken away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. So a 1-0 count to the center fielder, Weston Betteridge. Runners get their lead. A throw over to first, and they almost got Morgan Garrett leaning towards second. Not the fastest move from Jackson Hermanson, but the ball got over there, I think, a little bit quicker than Morgan Garrett was expecting it. 1-0 pitch on its way. Betteridge checked his swing, and it looks like it's going to be he did check his swing for ball 2, and it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes the count to Weston Betteridge. A big hole out in right center field. And the 2-0 pitch on its way. Line drive right back up the middle. Diving attempt, and the catch is made by Lecker at second base. He lays out and makes the catch to end the second inning. And at the end of 2 complete here from Brent Brown Ballpark, it's the Park City Miners 4, the Cedar Redmond 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top of the 3rd inning at Brent Brown Ballpark, Park City sent all 9 men to the plate in the second inning to score 3 runs. Jackson Hermanson started it all off with a walk, and he will come up to lead it off here for Park City, as he walked and then came around to score in the second. Hermanson, wearing number 20, will stand in from the right side of the plate. A pretty squared stance, and Brock Esplin's first pitch is swung on and fouled away down the first baseline. No balls and 1 strike the count to Hermanson, as Esplin kicks and delivers home. That one swung on and fouled back to the netting, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes as Esplin delivers home. That one swung on, grounded right back up to the middle of the short. Liker Tom with the throw across the diamond in time, and there's 1 away. So 1 away now for So one away for Park City.
Base number 1, Jack Letcher.
And Letcher coming to the plate here. Letcher made the nice diving catch to end the bottom of the second inning. And the first pitch to Letcher swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. Letcher hit in the second inning and had a sacrifice bunt that moved Jackson Hermanson to second base. No balls and a strike, and the delivery comes in there for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 to Letcher. Esplin working quickly, gets the 0-2 pitch, and Letcher down on strikes, and there's 2 outs. So 2 outs in the third, and Jeff Pfeiffer, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. Pfeiffer had a single, and then Elliott Walton came in to pinch run for him.
The designated hitter, number 24, Jeffrey Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer wearing number 24 will stand in from the right side of the plate, hitting in the 8th spot for Park City. Brock Esplin working from the windup, kicks and delivers home, and that's over on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike. The delivery swung on and missed as Pfeiffer couldn't catch up, and it's 0-2. So a no ball, 2 strike count here to Jeff Pfeiffer. And Pfeiffer swings and misses and goes down on strike. So back-to-back strikeouts for Brock Esplin in the third. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It's Park City 4, Cedar 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the third inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Park City Miners leading the Cedar Redmond 4-1 here. As it's going to be the top of the Cedar lineup, Josh Boyer, Trayson Esplin, and Riker Tom coming up. Boyer on the night is 1 for 1. He doubled and came around to score back in the first. Jackson Hermanson back to work, and with the high leg kick delivers the first pitch in the dirt for a ball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Boyer, and the delivery on its way stays away for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. If Cedar should find a way to win this one, they would meet Desert Hills tomorrow, and the 2-0 pitch stays high for a ball. It's 3 balls and no strikes. That would be wouldn't be a Region 9 contest, but 2 teams that have played each other this year have similar identical records coming out of Region 9. The 3-0 pitch stays high for ball 4, and Josh Boyer finds his way on here in the third. So kind of an interesting note is when you get this late in the tournament, sometimes you get to see teams that you're familiar with, and we'll see exactly how this team, Park City, has seen Desert Hills in this tournament. They saw them on May 10th, so just a little over a week ago. That one down in at Desert Hills, and that one was away for a ball to Trayson Esplin, and it's 1-0. And that one went in favor of Desert Hills 12-2. So Park City, I'm sure, would like to get some redemption tomorrow on Desert Hills. 1 ball and no strikes the count here to Trayson Esplin. And the pickoff move as Boyer dives back safely to first base. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Hermanson working from the stretch. Comes set and delivers home. And that one's going to bounce in the dirt. And it's ball 2, 2-0. And here in the third, Jackson Hermanson having a hard time finding the strike zone as he's thrown 6 pitches in the inning and has thrown 6 balls. Boyer gets his lead over at first, and now will step back onto first and regain his lead. And the 2-0 pitch on its way. That one bounces again in the dirt, ball 3, and it's 3-0. And 7 straight balls thrown here by Hermanson. And Chandler Barkdahl will come out and have a talk here with his pitcher. So Barkdahl will try to go ahead and settle Hermanson down. The left-hander has kept Cedar to 1 run on 1 hit so far to this point of the ball game. And the 3-0 pitch will be coming here to Trayson Esplin. Hermanson delivers home, and that one's going to bounce in the dirt, ball 4. So back-to-back walks to start the third, and now Hermanson has to deal with the middle part of the lineup, and Riker Tom will be the first one to come up.
The shortstop, number 9, Riker Tom.
So Riker Tom is 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to Moritz over at third, back in his first at-bat in the first inning. So a couple of men on for Cedar here, the infield up the middle and double play depth. And Hermanson's first pitch home comes inside. Tom swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Hermanson would love a ground ball up the middle to second base or to short here to try to set up the double play. The pitcher, Brock Esplin, on deck for Cedar. Time called as there's a baseball that is by the backstop that will be retreated as there's some action going in the Park City bullpen. So no balls and a strike as the left-hander sets and delivers home. Bunt show. Tom lays it down, but it's quickly foul, and it's going to be 0-2 against Riker Tom. Looks like a right-hander getting loose in the Park City bullpen for the Miners. So we'll see here exactly what will happen here with an 0-2 count. Brock Esplin on deck for Cedar had a grand slam in the game yesterday against Uinta. That came in the first inning on a ball that was hit to right field. The 0-2 pitch home, and Tom takes a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Hermanson went back to the slow breaking ball, and it just broke right back over on top of the outside corner for a called third strike. And with 1 out here in the bottom of the third, Brock Esplin will come to the plate. Esplin himself is 0 for 1. He grounded out to Moritz back in the first. An open stance for Brock Esplin at the plate. And again, a big gap out in right center field. And the pitch comes. That's high for a ball. Barkdahl acted like he was going to throw down to second, but he held on to it. And it's 1 ball, no strike count. Josh Boyer running at second for Cedar. And it's Trayson Esplin running at first. 1 ball, no strikes. The delivery home's taken away. This time he will throw down, and they got the tag, but not in time. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to Esplin. A good throw was put right on the right spot, but they just couldn't quite get the tag on Josh Boyer. He was able to sneak back in behind the tag. 2 balls and no strikes. And Hermanson sets and delivers home the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to stay outside, ball 3, and it's 3-0. Brecken Lewis waiting on deck for Cedar. 3 balls and no strikes. Hermanson working from the stretch is now set, ready to go. And the 3-0 pitch home stays high, ball 4. And so here in the third, Hermanson has walked the bases full. And Brecken Lewis coming to the plate, and we're going to have a visit here from the mound. We might have a pitching change for Park City. They lead this one 4-1 here. We'll see. And it looks like they're going to take the ball from Jackson Hermanson and going to go to the bullpen. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher after he takes his warm-up toss, as you're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament. Right now it's Park City 4, Cedar 1, and the bottom of the third on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. The new pitcher on the mound for Park City, number 21, Maverick Berglund, the junior right-hander, will take over, and he will inherit the bases loaded here with one away, and Brecken Lewis will come to the plate. So Brecken Lewis started the game on the mound for Cedar. Struggled, and now he has an opportunity here to redeem himself. It looks like Brock Oldroyd came in to courtesy run for Brock Esplin over at first base. And with one down, Berglund sets and delivers the first pitch, a fastball for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Infield up the middle at double play depth. The corners are in on almost on the infield grass. The 0-1 pitch. That's taken low for a ball, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. What's at stake tonight? The winner gets Desert Hills tomorrow at 9 a.m. right here at Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University, and the 1-1 pitch is in the dirt. A good block behind the plate by Bartle, and it's 2-1. Josh Boyer running at third, Trayson Esplin over at second, and what I believe to be Brock Oldroyd over at first. 2 balls and 1 strike the count, as the outfield plane looks like them to pull. And that one's going to get to the backstop. Coming home, Boyer, and he is going to score for the second time in this one. So Josh Boyer comes sprinting home from third, and that cuts the lead down to 4-2 in favor of Park City. Trayson Esplin to third, and Oldroyd down to second base. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Brecken Lewis. And the 3-1 pitch is going to be over for a called strike, and the count will now go full. And a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Brecken Lewis. Set and ready with the 3-2 pitch, and that one swung on and fouled away over towards the Cedar dugout. Maverick Berglund trying to get out of a big situation here after Park City scored 3 in the second to take the lead at 4-1. And the 3-2 payoff pitch, called strike 3 as Brecken Lewis started heading towards first base, and our home plate umpire rang him up the minute he took that first step, and there's 2 outs, and Dallas Jolly, the catcher, will come to the plate. Jolly on the night is 0 for 1 as he popped out to Scott Stokes back in the second. And there's going to be a first pitch ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Jolly wearing number 12, a slight open stance on the right side of the batter's box. And the 1-0 pitch. That's going to stay on the outside corner for a called strike, and we even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners on at second and third. Trayson Esplin at third. And it's Oldroyd at second. Check swing. Did he hold up? They're going to appeal, and they're going to say he did hold up. So the count goes in favor of Dallas Jolly. 2 balls and 1 strike here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Berglund working from the stretch delivers home, and that's going to be in there for a called strike at the belt, and evens the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Runners get their lead, and the delivery home is low and blocked by Barkle, and the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Berglund's come in and has gone 3-2 to his 2nd straight hitter. He was able to get Brecken Lewis looking, and he'll look to do the same here to Dallas Jolly. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the delivery home. High ball 4, and Dallas Jolly will get on first base, and the bases are loaded for Caden Lunt coming to the plate. So we're going to have a pinch runner here for Cedar. It's going to be number 20. Bracken Yardley's going to come in to run for the catcher, Dallas Jolly. We saw Yardley come in and run a couple of times yesterday.
Now waiting for Cedar, number 20, Bracken Yardley.
Or in the win last night for Cedar over Uinta. And the first pitch to Caden Lunt's taken high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Lunt's 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to center back in the 2nd inning. 1 ball and no strikes as Berglund tried to do a pickoff move. Nobody was at first, and he stopped mid-delivery. There's a balk, and a run will score. So Esplin scores on the balk. Oldroyd down to 3rd, and Yardley moves up to 2nd. And so now it's cut this lead to a 4-3 lead for Park City. Berglund set the 1-0 pitch. That one's high and tight to Lunt, and it's 2-0. Cedar with 3 runs right now on only 1 hit. And the 2-0 pitch is high again, ball 3, and it's 3-0. So Berglund's come in and has had a hard time finding the strike zone. And a 3-0 count here to Caden Lunt. We'll see here if he has the green light to swing or if he'll be taking all the way. Sets and delivers the 3-0 pitch, and that's outside, ball 4, so Lunt will draw a walk. That's the 5th walk of the inning that Cedar has drawn. Boyer, Trayson Esplin, Brock Esplin, Dallas Jolly, and now Caden Lunt have all walked, and we're going to have another visit to the mound from Park City, from the head coach for Park City. There's more action going in the bullpen here as the bases are full with Morgan Garrett due up, and I think we're gonna have a change with the catcher. I think we're gonna have another pitching change here for Park City. The catcher just left the field and went running into the dugout. And we're waiting to see here exactly what's going to happen here. I would imagine for the catcher to run in, we're going to have a switch. We're going to take a quick break here and see exactly what's going on, and we'll get back with you. In the bottom of the 2nd inning, it's Park City 4, Cedar 3 in this elimination game at the 2014 3A State baseball tournament here from Brent Brown Ballpark. You're listening to on KSL.com and DesertNews.com. And a quick conference is over as Chandler Barkdahl, as we bring you back to Brent Brown Ballpark. Chandler Barkdahl back behind the plate here. And the first pitch to Morgan Garrett's taken high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Garrett drew a walk back in the second inning. 1 ball and no strikes the count here to Morgan Garrett. Working from the stretch, delivers home, and that one's going to be inside for a ball, and it's 2-0. So Berglund on the mound, struggling here to keep command and find the strike zone. 2 balls and no strikes. The delivery on its way. That one's going to get to the backstop, coming in from third, and scoring is Oldroyd, and we're locked to 4s. And I will finally see it was Brock Oldroyd running there for Brock Esplin. So Oldroyd comes in to score. The runners all move up. Yardley to third, Caden Lunt to second, and a 3-0 count here to Morgan Garrett. So we're tied at 4 as Cedar has fought their way back into this one with 3 runs of their own here in the third, and the 3-0 pitch is high ball 4. The 6th walk of the inning coming here for the pitching staff for Park City. And now Weston Bedridge will come to the plate. So Bedridge will come to the plate. Time called. Park City's head coach will come out of the dugout again. And I would imagine here we will have a pitching change since this is the second visit to the mound. Here, you're allowed 1 visit, and then the second one you have to make a change. We are going to have a pitching change as Maverick Berglund will head to the dugout. We're going to take a break while we introduce you to the new pitcher. It's a 4-4 tie here between Park City and Cedar at the 2014 3A State Baseball Tournament from Brent Brown Ballpark. You're listening on KSL.com and DesertNews.com. Bottom half of the third inning here with 2 outs, and Cedar with the bases loaded. A new pitcher on the mound here for Park City as Maverick Berglund comes in to struggle. They're going to go to a sidearm right-hander. I'm still trying to see a number here for, and we'll see here. It's number 5. Tanner Whittington going to come in out of the bullpen here.
Now batting for the Redmen, number 3, playing center field, Weston Bedridge.
And Weston Bedridge will come to the plate with 2 down. Bedridge popped out to short to end the second inning as Cedar has sent, this is their 9th man to the plate here in the inning. So each team in this one have sent 9 men to the plate. And 6 walks here in the inning for Cedar. They've been a very patient team at the plate, and Chandler Barkdahl back behind home plate after running over to the dugout, and he'll face Bettridge with the bases full. Bracken Yardley at third, Caden Lunt at second, Morgan Garrett over at first. And Whittington's first pitch home is on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Whittington wears number 5, has a sidearm delivery. Not quite a submarine, but just kind of a sidearm delivery. And the 0-1 pitch is going to be low for a ball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Whittington set again with the 1-1 pitch. That one's on the outside corner for a called strike, and Whittington's ahead of the hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes here. It's not very often you're going to have a team with 4 runs on only 1 hit, but Cedar's doing it tonight. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball hit to third. It's through. Moritz's legs into left field. 1 run will score. Right behind Yardley was Lunt, and Cedar has taken the 6-4 lead. Yardley scored easily. Lunt was right behind him. And we'll wait to see here if they're gonna. It looks like they're gonna give Moritz there an E5. So with 2 outs, Cedar's come back to score 5 here in the third to take a 6-4 lead. And now Josh Boyer's gonna come to the plate for the 10th man to come to the plate for Cedar. Whittington set, and the first pitch is high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Boyer has doubled and walked and has come around to score 2 of the 6 runs for Cedar tonight. And the 1-0 pitch. Whittington checks the runners, delivers home, and that one swung on, hit hard, but fouled down into the bullpen, and we're even the count at 1-1. On deck, it's Trayson Esplin. One ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch on its way. That one swung on, hit to left. Coming on, it's going to fall in front of Churich. They're going to wave coming around third. They're going to have a play at the plate. And scoring on the play there was Garrett, as it was Moritz who cut off the throw, went to throw home, and he dropped the ball out of his hands, allowing Morgan Garrett to score. And it's 7-4 in favor of Cedar. So an RBI single for Boyer, and Trayson Esplin will come to the plate. He's 0 for 1 on the night with a walk and a run scored. So what seemed to be a half inning ago an uphill battle for Cedar has turned into a 3-run lead, and Whittington delivers that one inside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike. Whittington sets and delivers home. That one high and tight for a ball. It evens the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down, bottom 3. 6 runs in the inning for Cedar. And the 1-1 pitch swung on, and that one's going to be fouled away, and it's 1-2. Tanner Whittington looking to try to get out of this inning with a 1 ball and 2 strike count. Working from the stretch. The 1-2 pitch on its way home is swung on and hit into right center field. That's going to fall in front of Anderson. Coming around third and going to score is Bettridge. And getting down to third is Josh Boyer. So Cedar continues to hit the Park City pitching and take an 8-4 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Riker Tom will come to the plate. So Riker Tom, wearing number 9, will stand in. He's 0 for 2 on the night, grounded to third and struck out looking. 4 of these Cedar runs have come with 2 outs in the inning. Runners on the corner, and Whittington set. Delivers home. That was swung on, a base hit to left field. Scoring on the play will be Boyer. Esplin will have to hold at second, an RBI single for Riker Tom. It's now 9-4 Cedar. And 9-4 Cedar here in the bottom of the third. And Brock Esplin will come to the plate. Esplin walked and came around. He walked, and then Brock Oleroyd came in to pinch run for him, and Oleroyd scored. And here's the pitch. It comes inside and low at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Trayson Esplin running on at second base. Riker Tom running on at first. And the 0-1 pitch swung on, bounced down the third baseline, just barely foul, and it's 0-2. Moritz made a good attempt at it, but it went foul. So Whittington get ahead of the count, no balls and 2 strikes, with 2 down here in the top of the bottom of the third. The winner of this one gets Desert Hills tomorrow at 9 a.m. And so in just a little over 12 hours from now, so not a long night of rest for the winner of this one. And the 0-2 pitch on its way comes in and hits Oleroyd, and the bases are now loaded again. And they're gonna put Oleroyd back in the box, it looks like. Oleroyd started towards first, and they're gonna say that it was a ball, so they're gonna say he leaned in, or he did not make it a clear enough attempt to get out of the way, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. You do have to make some attempt, typically, to get out of the way of the ball hitting you. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Brock Esplin. The 1-2 pitch on its way, outside corner for a ball, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brecken Lewis on deck for Cedar. 2 balls and 2 strikes here, and the delivery home from Whittington is fouled back, and we'll redo the 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as Cedars put 8 runs now here in this third inning. And a 2-2 count coming here to Brock Esplin. And the 2-2 pitch on its way, that's outside ball 3, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the count goes full here to Esplin, with a couple of runners on. Trayson Esplin at second, Riker Tom over at first. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners go, and that's low, ball 4, and now the bases are full once again for Cedar, and Brecken Lewis will come to the plate. The 14th hitter to come in, as Brock Oleroyd will come in to run again. The 14th hitter of the inning for Cedar, the 7th walk of the inning. And now Brecken Lewis here has another big gap sitting out there in right center field. So Lewis wearing number 19 will stand in. And the first pitch from Whittington is swung on, and that one's going to be fouled over into the third base coaching box. Whittington has been able to get ahead of hitters, get strike 1 and strike 2, just hasn't been able to finish the hitters off. No balls and 1 strike. And Whittington delivers, and that one's going to be on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 to Brecken Lewis. Dallas Jolly, the catcher, awaits on deck. Whittington sets, working from the stretch, and delivers the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, line right at second. It's misplayed by Letcher into left field. Scoring on the play, Trayson Esplin. Riker Tom right behind him. 2 more runs will score for Cedar, and this one's starting to get out of control here as Oleroyd goes down to third, and they're going to give an E4 on the single there, and it's now 11-4 Cedar, as Cedar has come through and scored 10 runs here in the inning to take this 11-4 lead. And Dallas Jolly, the catcher, will come up here with 2 away. 11 runs on 4 hits for Cedar. And the pitch comes. Jolly lines that one in the gap. That's going to go to hit the ground and roll out to the warning track. Scoring on the play is Oldroyd. Brecken Lewis will hold a third and a double. And it's now 12-4 Cedar. And Caden Lunt will come to the plate here, as we're a couple of batters away here from sending everybody to bat here twice, and there's more action going now in the Park City bullpen. Brecken Yardley back into pinch will run for Dallas Jolly at second, and Caden Lunt to come into the plate. He has flown out to center, walked, and scored here in the third already. And the pitch comes, he swings, hits this one to right. It's going to be Starlove out there. He's going to get under it and make the catch. And the third inning will come to an end finally, but not before Cedar comes back with 10 runs here to take an 11-4 lead as we head to the top of the 4th inning here from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Cedar 12, Park City 4. You're listening to the 2014 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the 4th inning from Brent Brown Ballpark. 11 runs in that inning for Cedar to take the 12-4 lead. Park City now has their work cut out for them. Brock Esplin, who started pitching in that 3rd inning, has had plenty of rest. It will be 9-1-2 coming up for Park City. Ian Moritz was going to come up, and Brock Esplin's first pitch is away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Ian Moritz, Chandler Bartle, and Griffin Church coming up. The 1-0 pitch swung on and popped up over in foul ground. Giving it a look is Lunt. He is there and he makes the catch. There's 1 away. And Chandler Bartle, the catcher now, will come to the plate. He is 1 for 1 tonight. Singled and scored in the first, and then walked and came around to score in the second. So we'll see what Bartle can do here. And the first pitch from Brock Esplin is swung on and fisted to second. And Esplin fields and throws the first, not in time. So Chandler Bartle will reach on what I would assume they will give him a hit, as there was a long run for Trayson Esplin. And it will be a base hit there for Bartle. And Griffin Church is going to come to the plate, number 2. So Church had a sacrifice bunt and then singled in the second. So now we'll see here exactly what will happen as Brock Esplin works from the stretch. That one low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Park City in the first base visitors dugout. Cedar in the third base home team dugout for this one. As Barkdahl gets his lead at first. The 1-0 pitch is high for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Going into the bottom half of the third, Park City had a 4-1 lead. And then Cedar broke this one open. 2 balls and no strikes. Brock Esplin sets on the mound and delivers the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, popped up, and that's going to go foul down onto the berm. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Church.
Please return all foul balls to the third base dugout.
So a 2 balls and 1 strike the count here to Church. Church hitting from the left side of the plate. Esplin delivers. He lines that one to short. It's going to take a bad hop on Liker Tom and roll into left field. Going to third will be Barkdahl. Bobbling the ball and getting it back in will be Garrett in left field. And so Park City showing some signs of life here with a couple of base runners here in the fourth. And Chandler Anderson will come to the plate. Anderson wearing number 16. Reached on an error and singled in his at-bats tonight as the daylight begins to sink away. You can see just a little bit of snow on the mountains beyond center field, kind of making a purplish tint. A very beautiful setting here for baseball with the Wasatch Mountains located in the outfield. So 1 out with Chandler Anderson, and the first pitch to Anderson is going to be over for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Anderson stepping in wearing number 16. Runners will be on the corner here with 1 away. And the 0-1 pitch on the way is going to be in there for a called strike at the knees, and it's 0-2. Blake Morin waits on deck for Park City. No balls and 2 strikes. And the delivery home comes inside. It's going to be fisted to short. They're going to go to second for 1. That's all they're going to get. Coming in to score on the play will be Barkdahl. Liker Tom quickly fielding it and getting it to Trayson Esplin at second base. So Anderson gets the RBI on the fielder's choice. And Blake Morin will come up, and that cuts the lead down to brings the lead down to 7 for Cedar. And the first pitch is inside for a ball to Blake Morin. Morin grounded to first and also walked in the second. Esplin checks the runner over at first. Anderson with a good-sized lead. The 1-0 pitch taken away for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Scott Stokes waiting on deck for Park City. Two balls and no strikes. And Brock Esplin sets, gets the sign, and delivers home. Morin swings, and he fouls that one down the left field line foul. It's 2 balls and a strike. This is game number 28 of the state tournament, the 3A classification. Cedar against Park City. And Blake Morin stands in at the plate, and now it's swung on and fouled back to the backstop, and will even the count at 2-2. The winner of this one plays in, we're getting closer to 12 hours from now, against Desert Hills. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Esplin sets and delivers home. That was swung on, line to the right center field. That's going to sit down for a base hit. Going first to third is going to be Griffin Churich. He will hold. I'm sorry, that's Chandler Anderson going first to third. So Blake Morin gets the RBI, as it was Griffin Churich was retired on the fielder's choice. And now runners on the corners for Scott Stokes. Stokes on the night is 0 for 2. He's grounded back to the pitcher and then grounded to first.
Playing first base, number 30, Scott Stokes.
So we'll see here exactly what Stokes can do with runners on the corners. Chandler Anderson at third, Blake Morin over at first. Esplin working from the stretch, checks Morin over at first and delivers home, and that's going to be over for a called strike, and it's 0-1. It's Jackson Hermanson on deck for Park City. No balls and a strike, and the delivery comes home inside, but Stokes swings and misses and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 down here in the top of the 4th. And Esplincets delivers home, swung on, grounded to third. Fielded by Lewis, his throw across in time to end the inning, but Park City does get one. They cut the lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th. It's Cedar 12, Park City 5. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Cedar 12, Park City 5. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, another new pitcher taking over on the mound for Park City. We're still waiting to see a number. Park City wearing black tops with these kind of red numbers that sometimes can be tricky to see from up here in the press box. So we'll see here who the new pitcher is momentarily, as Morgan Garrett will get ready to step in the batter's box. Morgan Garrett on the night has walked twice. So Morgan Garrett's walked twice. He's scored once. As he stands, he'll stand in from the right side. It'll be Morgan Garrett, Weston Betteridge, and then it's going to be Josh Boyer in the top of the Cedar lineup. And the first pitch home is going to be in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. I think that could be Jake Slusher on the mound, and that 0-1 pitch is fouled away. It's 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes here coming to Morgan Garrett. And the 0-2 pitch on its way, and that one's going to be high for a ball. It's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander comes set and gets the sign from Chandler Barkle. And the 1-2 pitch home is going to be swung on and missed. And Morgan Garrett down on strikes, so they'll apply the tag just to make it official. And there's 1 away, and Weston Betteridge will come to the plate here.
Center fielder, number 3, Weston Betteridge.
So Betteridge comes to the plate as he has popped out to second and reached on an error. He also came around to score there in the 3rd inning. And the first pitch home is swung on and popped high up on the infield. It's going to go out into shallow center field there to make the plays, Blake Morin, and there's 2 away. So 2 outs, and Josh Boyer will come to the plate. Boyer has doubled and had an RBI single in the 3rd. Came around to score twice in the 3rd, and also walked. And the first pitch to Boyer is going to be swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Josh Boyer, and the 0-1 pitch is on the way, and that bounces in there for a ball, and it's 1-1. Jake Slusher ready and delivers that one, and a line drive up the middle. Going to be a tough play for Moore, and his throw in time over to first. And 1, 2, 3, fourth inning for Cedar at the end of 4 from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Cedar 12, Park City 5, and this elimination game at the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament. You're listening to that tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
For Cedar in the bottom half of the 4th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base.
Top half of the 5th inning coming to you here from Brent Brown Ballpark. It will be Jackson Hermanson to stand in and lead it off here for Park City, as it's 12-5 in favor of Cedar. The winner of this one getting Desert Hills tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And the first pitch coming home from Brock Esplin is in there on the outside corner, and it's 0-1 to Hermanson. The 0-1 pitch on its way, and that one swung on and fouled back to the backstop. It looked like it redirected off of either the catcher's mask or the home plate umpire's mask, but I couldn't tell for sure. No balls and 2 strikes. That comes inside and hits Hermanson. And so Hermanson will be on to open up the 5th inning. And that's going to bring up an 0-for-1 tonight. Second baseman Jack Lecker.
The batter playing second base, number 4.
And right,
Number 1, Jack Letcher.
Letcher on the night, sacrificed bunt and went down swinging. Letcher sets and takes the first pitch, a fastball at the knees, and it's 0-1. On deck, it's Jeff Pfeiffer. Here in the top of the 5th, scheduled to play 7 innings tonight. No balls and a strike. Getting his lead over at first is Jackson Hermanson. And the 0-1 pitch on its way, and that one's going to be low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike with nobody out here in the 5th. Up the middle, they're playing double play depth. That one's away for a ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Over at third, Lewis is playing in right on the grass at third base. 2 balls and a strike here. And the 2-1 pitch home is on the outside corner. It evens the count up to Jack Letcher. And the 2-2 pitch is Brock Esplin working pretty quickly on the mound. Is set, and the 2-2 pitch home swung on, and that was going to be fouled away, and we'll redo the 2-2. Top of the 5th inning, a 12-5 lead for Cedar over Park City. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brock Esplin set, working from the stretch, and delivers home. Swung on. That one's going to be fouled away. Jackson Hermanson went sprinting for second, but our home plate umpire's hands immediately went up in the air, letting everyone know foul ball. So once again, we'll redo the 2-2 pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the runner gets his lead at first, and the delivery comes home high and tight. And the ball count goes 3-2 to Jack Lechler. Lechler on the night has struck out and had a sacrifice. The 3-2 pitch is outside for ball 4, so Park City getting a couple of runners on here. They get the hit by a pitch and the walk, and now a couple men on for Jeff Pfeiffer. And we're going to get a visit to the mound here by the Cedar head coach. As with the way this game's been going, you don't want to take any chances. You're hoping to play in a little over 12 hours from now. And so this has definitely been, we have Park City with 5 runs on 7 hits. Cedar 12 runs on only 5 hits. And Jeff Pfeiffer will come to the plate with an RBI single tonight and a strikeout back in the 3rd. So Pfeiffer will step in the batter's box here with nobody out in the 5th, and Jackson Hermanson on over at 2nd. And Jack Lechler over at 1st. And the pitch on its way is swung on. That's going to be fisted up over the head of the first baseman. No one's going to be covering first. The ball's going to go off the pitcher's glove covering, and everyone will be safe for Park City. So Hermanson gets to 3rd. Lechler down to 2nd, and Pfeiffer gets on what's going to be ruled a base hit. He put it right over the head of Lunt, and the pitcher, Brock Esplin, had to run over and cover the bag, and when he did, the throw was trying to lead him over the bag, and it just went off his glove. So now the bases are now full for Park City, and Ian Moritz is going to come to the plate here. And Moritz on the night is 0 for 2. And so running over for Park City is number 7, Fisher Hermanson. And we're going to have a conversation here from the 2 umpires. I'm not sure what the conversation is, but they said something at first to the Cedar head coach, and then now they're saying something to the Park City head coach. So we're going to see here what, we're not 100% sure what's going on here. Ian Moritz is now going to step back into the box for the Miners. And with nobody out and the bases full, a chance to fight their way back in this one here in the top of the 5th inning. Brock Esplin is set. He'll work from the windup. And he kicks and delivers home. And that one's going to be in there at the knees for a strike. And it's no balls and a strike. Park City had the bases loaded in the 2nd when they sent all 9 guys to the plate. And they left them loaded after scoring 3 of their runs. Moritz lines that one foul, and it's 0-2. So Park City's been able to get men on base tonight, and they've been able to score. They scored the first runs, 3 in the 2nd and then 1 in the 4th. The 0-2 pitch from Esplin swung on. That one's going to be popped up, and it's going to get foul. And it's going to roll off the netting and back into the on-deck circle, where it will be picked up by Chandler Barkdahl. No balls and 2 strikes to Ian Moritz. Corners in on the grass for for Cedar as the fastball misses high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top half of the 5th, Cedar 12, Park City 5. And the 1-2 pitch comes inside, almost hits Moritz, and it just barely missed him, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. And the kick and the delivery home is going to be right on the corner. Called strike 3. The first out of the inning as Moritz goes down. And now it's going to bring up Chandler Barkdahl to the plate with the bases full. And if you're Park City, this is probably the man you want up. He's got 2 hits tonight. He has scored 3 of your 5 runs. He scored 3 of the 5 Park City runs, and the first pitch comes inside. Ooh, and that came very close to hitting Barkdahl, but again, he just stayed out of the way, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Hermanson at third, Lechler at second, and it's Fisher Hermanson at first. Time called as Barkdahl steps out, and the pitch on its way is on the outside corner for a called strike, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball and 1 strike here in the top of the 5th inning. The delivery comes, and that one swung on and fouled back, and it's 1-2. Griffin Churich is in the on-deck circle for Park City. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 pitch on its way home is in the dirt. A good stop by Jolly. They'll throw down to third, but not in time. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Chandler Barkdahl. Singled in the first and in the fourth. Walked in the second, and he has scored all 3 times he's been on base tonight. A 2-2 pitch. Barkdahl swings, grounds it to second. Trey Esplin goes to short for 1, down to first, not in time. And scoring is Jackson Hermanson. So Park City will get Lechler to third. It's going to be Fisher Hermanson, retired on the 6-4 fielder's choice, or the 4-6. There's 2 away in the inning, and Barkdahl reaches on that fielder's choice, and with 2 outs, Griffin Churich will come to the plate. Churich has 2 singles on the night and a sacrifice. As Brock Esplin will take a step back onto the mound here. Runners on the corners with 2 away, 12-6 now in favor of Cedar. And he steps to third and looks over to first and doesn't throw anywhere. It's Lunt holding on Barkdahl at first. Barkdahl gets a decent lead here with 2 away, and the pitch is going to be in on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Chandler Anderson on deck for Park City. Time called as it's going to be Jolly coming out in front of home plate. The catcher for Cedar and giving some signals out to his defense here to know exactly how to handle the situations. No balls and a strike. Brock Esplin set on the mound, working from the stretch, delivers Churich. Going to swing and fouls that one away, and he's down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Park City out-hitting Cedar. Unfortunately, Cedar outscoring Park City right now. No balls and 2 strikes. Brock Esplin looks in, gets the sign, looks over at first. And the 0-2 pitch coming home. Churich swings, just makes contact, and is able to push that one foul down by the third base dugout here. And a no ball, 2 strike count to Griffin Churich. Chandler Anderson awaiting on deck. Esplin delivers the 0-2. Churich again fouls it away, and we'll redo the 0-2. We get started bright and early here at Brent Brown Ballpark and on KSL.com or DeseretNews.com at 9 a.m. The final, I shouldn't say the final elimination game, but the final elimination game before the state championship. Desert Hills against the winner of this game. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Griffin Churich. And the delivery home. Churich takes just on the, maybe a little low outside. It's called a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. A good eye by Churich. The Cedar fans definitely wanted to see Churich rung up there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Esplin set from the stretch. Delivers the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and that one's going to be fouled away. And down onto the berm as some kids will go run after the foul ball. And we'll renew the 1-2 pitch here coming to Griffin Churich. Churich has stayed in, has fought in this count, fighting off 2 or 3 pitches and fouling them away. Stands in to get a couple more. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the delivery home. Swung on, grounded to short. Fielded by Riker Tom. His throw to first is not picked out of first by Lunt, so the run will score. So scoring is Lecker from third. Advancing to second is Chandler Barkdahl, and Griffin Churich will reach on what will likely, I would say, I'm going to say an E3. It will be ruled an error. Whether they'll get Riker Tom for the error on the throw in the dirt or whether it will be on Lunt, I would think it would be Lunt for not getting it out of the dirt at first base. And with 2 away now, Chandler Anderson comes to the plate for Park City. Esplin sets, delivers home, and the first pitch stays inside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Anderson has reached on an error, singled, and reached on a fielder's choice tonight. Park City slowly fighting their way back. They've cut the lead down now to only 5. It's Cedar 12, Park City 7. The 1-0 pitch, Esplin delivers home, and that one's going to be low, and it's ball 2, and it's 2-0 to Chandler Anderson. Blake Morin awaits on deck for the Miners. 2 balls and no strikes. Esplin sets. Checks the runner, takes a long look at second, and Anderson swings and fouls it away. It's 2 balls and a strike. Two balls and 1 strike. The count here to Chandler Anderson playing in center field. Esplin sets, takes another long look at second, delivers home. That's going to be in at the knees for a called strike. And the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Brock Esplin came in relief yesterday against Uinta, and now back in relief here tonight. The 2-2 pitch home, swung on and missed, it gets away. Runners go, they're going to have to throw down to first, and they will to complete the K2-3, and the inning will come to an end, but Park City able to cut the lead. They scored 2 more in the 5th. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark, it's Cedar 12, Park City 7. You're listening to the 2014 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament coming to you on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and Cedar coming up 2, 3, and 4. Trayson Esplin, Riker Tom, and Brock Esplin coming up here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cedar leading this one 12-7, and the first pitch home is going to be in there for a called strike at the knees, and it's 0-1 to Trayson Esplin. The 0-1 pitch on its way, and that one low and inside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Grantsville's already punched their ticket to the state championship. They'll play at 11 a.m. against an opponent to be determined. It will be either Desert Hills, Cedar, or Park City. The 1-1 pitch on its way, and that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Grantsville coming out of Region 11, 9-3 in region play, 20-6 overall. The 2-1 pitch on its way is low and in the dirt for ball 3, and it's 3-1 to Trayson Esplin. Esplin on the nights grounded to the pitcher, walked and scored, and had an RBI single, and then came around to score himself. And the 3-1 pitch on its way stays high and outside ball 4, so Trayson Esplin will walk, and Riker Tom will come up here for Cedar in the bottom of the 5th.
The shortstop.
Tom on the night has grounded to third, struck out looking, and had an RBI single in that 3rd inning where Cedar scored 11 runs. And the first pitch on its way home to Tom is going to be swung on and hit right back to the pitcher. He's going to look at second, decide just to go to first, and they will. So Esplin will move up. Tom retired again by the pitcher, 1-3. And there's one away for Brock Esplin. Esplin on the night has now come in, started the game at first base, now has come in to pitch. And he has grounded to third. And then he walked twice in the 3rd. And then it was Brock Oleroyd who came in to ran for him twice, and he came around to score both those times. And so with one away, Esplin at the plate with Trayson Esplin at second. The pitch outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Brecken Lewis in the on-deck circle for Cedar. 1 ball, no strikes, and the delivery coming home. Swung on and missed, and out in front of it was Brock Esplin. It's 1-1. Not necessarily an overpowering right-handed pitcher on the mound, Jake Slusher, but he does pitch pretty well. And that was swung on by Esplin and hit to the gap. That's going to go to the wall. Coming around third and scoring will be Trayson Esplin. Brock Esplin going to go into second with a 1-out RBI double. And it's now 13-7 in favor of Cedar. The 3rd run of the game tonight scored by Trayson Esplin. And Brock Esplin actually doubles. I put down on my scorebook that it was a home run. It was only a double. And Brock Oleroyd will come in to run for Brock Esplin again.
Running for Cedar, number 18, Brock Oleroyd.
And now it's going to bring up Brecken Lewis, the 3rd baseman. Lewis has been hit by a pitch tonight, has struck out, and also reached on an error by the 2nd baseman. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Action going in the Cedar bullpen. I believe that's Riker Tom, number 9, throwing. And with 1 out, it comes inside, and that's going to hit Brecken Lewis. So Lewis, for the 2nd time tonight, is going to be hit by the pitch. And now that's going to bring up Dallas Jolly, the catcher. So it has not been the best night for Park City pitching when it's come to hit batsmen and walks. They've had a hard time keeping it around the strike zone, and really when they have kept it around the strike zone, Cedar's been able to hit the ball very well. So Dallas Jolly comes up. They're going to play him to pull another big hole out in right center field, and he'll take strike 1. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. They count here to Dallas Jolly. Jolly popped out to first, walked and scored, and then had an RBI double. Throw down to second, and they almost got him, but just getting under the tag at second was Brock Oleroyd, and it's going to be a 1-1 count here to Dallas Jolly. Scoring for Dallas Jolly was actually Bracken Yardley, who came in to run for the catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike here with 1 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. Set working from the stretch is Slusher. And the 1-1 pitch swung on and hit to center. It's going to send Anderson back. He's under it, makes the catch. Oldroyd can act like he's tagging, but a good throw will hold him at second base, and there's 2 away. So 2 out in the 5th, and Caden Lunt's going to come up. Lunt on the night has flown out twice and walked in the 3rd and came around to score. We'll see what he can do here with two away with a couple men on. And the first pitch on its way home is swung on, and that was going to be chopped foul. And a great athletic play there made by the Cedar third base coach. The ball went and bounced off the concrete by the dugout, and he just kind of leaped up and made the catch with his bare hand. No balls and a strike, and the 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be in there for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 to Caden Lunt. No balls and 2 strikes, but 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Runners on at 1st and 2nd. On a Friday night for baseball in Orem. The 0-2 pitch, swung on, Lunt pops it up. Over towards first, the warning track there to make the catch. Leaping up against the wall, Stokes makes the catch for the out. He had to make a long run, then find the wall, leaps up and makes the catch up against the wall. And at the end of 5 complete from Brent Brown Ballpark, it's Cedar 13, Park City 7. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the 6th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Park City Miners currently trailing this one by 6, and they'll come up with 4, 5, and 6. Shortstop Blake Morin to lead it off here. Hitting from the left side of the plate, the first pitch home from Brock Espelin is taken in there at the knees for a strike, and it's no balls and a strike. Morin has grounded out to 3rd, walked, and singled in the 4th. And the pitch to Blake Morin is swung on, chopped up the middle. Tom's going to get there, ranging to his left or to his right, and he throws him out, and there's 1 away. So 1 out for Scott Stokes, the first baseman, who made a fantastic defensive play in the bottom half of the inning. And now we'll see offensively what he can do. Tonight he's 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. He's grounded to the pitcher, to the first baseman, and to the third baseman tonight. And the pitch to Stokes on its way. And that's low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Jackson Hermanson in the on-deck circle for Park City. The 1-0 pitch. That's on the outside corner and evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed as Stokes just swung through that one. It's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the first baseman, Scott Stokes. And set and kicks and delivers home is Brock Espelin. That's going to stay high, and it evens the count at 2-2. Jackson Hermanson to follow. The 2-2 pitch swung on. That's going to be foul tipped to the backstop. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away, and the delivery home is going to be low and away, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to first baseman Scott Stokes. The 3-2 pitch on its way, and that one swung on line to center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. So Scott Stokes finds his first hit of the night and gets on here with a single in the 6th, and that's going to bring up Jackson Hermanson. Hermanson, wearing number 20, will stand in from the right side.
Number 20, Jackson Hermanson.
Hermanson on the night has walked and scored a run, grounded out to short, and also been hit by a pitch and came around to score. So he's scored twice. And now we'll see here just exactly what happens with 1 out. Brock Esplin taking his time getting the sign from his catcher. Dallas Jolly behind home plate. Getting the sign out there to Brock Esplin. Esplin set, working from the stretch. And the pitch home is going to be low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Earlier today, it was Cedar defeating Pineview to advance. The 1-0 pitch swung on, popped up. It's going to be given right in shallow center field. Riker Tom's there. He'll make the catch. 2 outs. Cedar defeated Pineview in the first game of the day from the tournament. And then after that, Juan Diego and Park City defeated Juan Diego. We went back up to the top half of the bracket where Desert Hills and Grantsville played the first game at 4:30, and Grantsville advanced to the state championship as Jack Letcher stands in, hits a fly ball on the first pitch to center. It is going to fall right in front of Bettridge, and so Park City is going to have a couple of men on here with 2 outs in the 6th, and Jeff Pfeiffer, the DH, would have been the one to hit, but it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be number 7, Fisher Hermanson. So Fisher Hermanson will hit from the left side of the plate, and he takes a called strike, and it's 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Hermanson hitting from the left side, a tad open stance in that left-handed side batter's box. The 0-1 pitch is swung on. That was a line drive that's hit right into the Cedar dugout. And it will, luckily they do have a kind of protective barrier there. So the ball just hit off the netting and rolled back towards home plate. But an 0-2 count here to Fisher Hermanson. And the 0-2 pitch on its way. Line drive right back to the pitcher, who Brock Esplin nabs it, and the 6th inning comes to an end for Park City. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, it's Cedar 13, Park City 7. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Champion Tournament right here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Here at Brent Brown Ballpark, we move to the bottom of the 6th inning for Cedar. And they're going to send up 8, 9, and 1, Morgan Garrett, Weston Bettridge, and Josh Boyer. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, currently leading 13-7. And here's Morgan Garrett. On the night, he's 0 for 1. He struck out in the 4th and then walked twice. And the first pitch to Garrett's inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Park City will have one more chance. They'll need 6 runs in the top of the 6th inning. The 1-0 pitch, that one bounces in. It's 2 balls and no strikes. They'll need 6 runs as of right now. We'll see what happens in the right now with the bottom half, or what will happen here in this inning. 2-0 pitch on its way, and that one's going to be on the inside corner, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Park City in the black, Cedar in the red. And the 2-1 pitch, and turning away from it, ball 3 was Morgan Garrett as that one came high and tight. The winner gets Desert Hills, who won Region 9. The 3-1 pitch swung on and missed as Garrett was way out in front, and the count will go full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the count's full here to Morgan Garrett, the left fielder. The 3-2 pitch on its way, swung on, that was lined to left, coming on, trying to make the play was Church. It's going to roll all the way to the wall as he dives and it gets past him. Garrett will make the turnaround second. He's going to go to third. Here comes the throw, diving in underneath the tag that got him. A great relay from Church to Morin to Moritz covering the bag. And there's one away here in the 6th on the OB 7-6-5 putout. And there's one out for Weston Betteridge.
Center fielder number 3, Weston Betteridge.
So Betteridge will come to the plate here, who has flown out twice and reached on an error. And the first pitch home is swung on line to center right at Anderson, who's going to make the catch. And there's 2 outs. So 2 outs in the top of the lineup and Josh Boyer. Boyer has doubled and scored, singled and scored, walked and scored, had an RBI and grounded out. And the first pitch home to Boyer, swung on, popped high up on the infield. It's going to be Morin just on the infield grass to make the play, and the 6th inning is over. So Park City, they need 6 runs to tie this game. We'll see if they can do it here in the top of the 7th right after this. You're listening to the 2014 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Folks, the concessions will be closing in the next few minutes. If you have one more trip, please get it now.
Top of the 7th inning beginning here from Brent Brown Ballpark. The last chance for Park City as they trail this one to Cedar 13-7. And a new pitcher's coming in. Riker Tom has come in to pitch. Brock Esplin has moved back to first base.
Playing third base, number 4, Ian Moritz.
And leading off for Park City will be number 4, Ian Moritz. Moritz is 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of flyouts and a strikeout. The first pitch from Riker Tom is high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Moritz, Barkdahl, and Churich coming up here in the 7th. The first 3 due up for Park City, and that's in there for a called strike, and evens the count at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here with nobody out. And the delivery home from Tom, that one swung on and fouled back, and it's 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here. And the 1-2 pitch to Moritz, that's going to be just off the plate for a ball, and it's 2-2. That one did not miss by much. A tough pitch probably for Ian Moritz to leave off, or at least from my vantage point, it looked like a tough pitch to let go. The 2-2 pitch, that one's going to be low for a ball, and the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls and 2 strikes, and that one's going to be lined to right field. Coming on, making a diving attempt to not get in. There's Boyer. That's going to skip away from him just a little bit. Hitting second base and holding is going to be Ian Moritz with a leadoff double here in the 7th inning. So showing the leadoff man getting on here for Park City. And now it's going to bring up Chandler Barkdahl. Still a lot of work to go if you're the Miners, but you need a place to start. And a base hit is always the best place to start. As Chandler Barkdahl comes to the plate tonight, he has singled twice, scored 3 times, walked, and hit into a fielder's choice. Tom set on the mound, delivers home, and that's going to be outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Griffin Churich on deck for the Miners. 1 ball and no strikes. The kick on the delivery home is going to stay high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. A 13-7 lead for Cedar, looking to hold on and advance to get conference opponent Desert Hills, and that one stays away for ball 3, and it's 3-0 to Barkdahl. Tom set on the mound and delivers the 3-0 pitch. And it stays high, ball 4. So Barkdahl will walk here in the 7th. And Griffin Churich will come to the plate, the left fielder. Churich wearing number 2 as a sacrifice bunt, 2 singles, and he reached on an error.
Number 2, Griffin Churich.
So I would not expect to see a bunt here with trailing by 6. You just never know what will happen. And the first pitch to Churich is in there for a strike as it was right down the middle, and it's 0-1. Chandler Anderson on deck for Park City. No balls and a strike. The delivery comes, swung on, ground ball hit to short. Fielded there, they go to second for 1. Down to first, they won't get Churich. So a fielder's choice, runners will advance to third is Moritz. And Churich reaches on the fielder's choice, but Barkdahl retired 6-4. So 1 out for Chandler Anderson. Anderson's reached on an error, hit into a fielder's choice, struck out, and singled. Anderson hitting from the right side. Where's number 16? And the pitch comes, and Anderson swings through it. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike. The delivery to Anderson swung on, and he fouls that one away, and he's down to the count 0-2. Blake Morin to follow. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the 7th inning. Set with the 0-2 delivery, and it's on its way. Swung on and missed. Anderson down on strikes. There's 2 outs. And Park City is down to their final out here of the inning. And Blake Morin going to be the batter.
The shortstop, number 23, Blake Morin.
Morin has grounded to first, walked, singled, and grounded to short in this one, and there's 2 outs. First pitch swung on, line to the left field for a base hit. So Moritz will score from third. Churich gets to second on the RBI single for Morin, and now that's going to bring up Scott Stokes.
Playing first base, number 30.
So Stokes on the night has singled and grounded out 3 times. Stokes yesterday in Park City's game against Canyon View, helping his own cause early on, and that one went away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Jackson Hermanson on deck. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 away. And the 1-0 pitch is going to be high for a ball, and it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Scott Stokes. And the 2-0 pitch is on the corner for a called strike, and it's 2-1. Stokes wearing number 30. A little bit of an open stance as he stands in the box. 2 balls and a strike. Delivery comes. That one's away. Ball 3, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 1 does not go full. It goes 3-1. A good hitter's count here, so a good chance Stokes sees a fastball. Outfield playing straight away. Stokes swings and misses, and now the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Park City down to their final strike of the season. Riker Tom set on the mound, working from the stretch. Delivers home to Stokes. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the ball game is over. And Park City's season comes to an end tonight with a 13-8 loss to Cedar. Cedar will move on to play tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., less than 12 hours from now, where we will be back on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com for Cedar against Desert Hills, a Region 9 matchup here with a trip to the state championship on the line. We'll be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow for that one. Our final score here tonight, Cedar 13, Park City 8. Have a good night, everybody. I'm Ryan Pickens for everyone here with me from KSL and Deseret News. Have a good night, everyone.